Hi, Bob. Nice to have you up here on site.
How you doing?
I'm excellent, thank you very much. I'm Keith Boyle. I'm a mining engineer by training, and was asked by Stratabound Minerals, the new owners, to come down as the project director from Canada. It's a Canadian-based company that acquired last year the shares of California Gold, who went into bankruptcy, and so the shares were bought out of bankruptcy, and they decided to go into the hemp business, which is why they ended up going bankrupt, unfortunately. But our president and CEO, Kim Tyler, who's a geologist with 40 years of mining under his belt, saw the real potential of this project, and thought that it was a good thing for the shareholders. And so we've got a diverse base of shareholders, including U.S. shareholders. And so since last year, we have been doing a few things to advance the project. And
Can you tell me where we're at right now?
Absolutely. So you mean like is right now? So we're at right now we're standing where the old Pine Tree mine was mined. So we're right at the surface where basically the mining came right out to surface. And since then, of course, people have filled in the hole. But this is where the old Pine Tree mine that was mined 1880s to 1944. And so it was mined then, and then really was shut down because of the gold price and the war. And so since then has turned over a few times and tried to get restarted. But with the gold price today and what we believe is a really good deposit, we think we can do something, one, good in terms of a project, but even better for the community.
Okay. I saw a report that you've upped substantially the estimated ounces of gold reserves that are still in the ground here.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Bob. So since acquiring the property last year in September, the one thing that Stratabound had to do then was file what's called a technical report and a mineral resource estimate. And the mineral resource estimate had different categories of gold, categorized differently, but generally the total was about 1 million ounces. And through the year, and it's the potential that our CEO saw, through the year we included all the data that had been that was available from the guys that mined it back in the early 1900s when they mined here. And so by adding that and all the rest of the data, the drilling that had been done, we've now got over 1 million ounces in indicated and 2 million ounces of inferred. So basically a total of 3 million ounces as part of a project. And so that really gets us excited about, one, you know what, now we think we can pull together a project that makes sense. Yes. So so as I mentioned, you know, we now have a mineral resource estimate, from which we can now look at, hey, what kind of project makes sense here? And of course, you know, the question is, well, what makes it different from previous attempts? Well, we have a gold price environment that's quite different today. The other thing is we have lots of newer technologies that weren't around then. And so I'll give you a couple of examples that in terms of the tailings management, looking at dry stack or filtered tailings, which wouldn't, where you don't have to build a dam, or more so an underground versus an open pit. Today, underground miners, everybody thinks of the pick and shovel or, really dirty, hands-on type guy. Today, a miner working mechanized equipment sits in a control room, sitting on a chair with some joysticks and a screen in front of him, and it could be miles away that this control room is from the actual underground. So you have very few people actually working underground, or fewer than there were in the past. And the equipment, battery operated. You're not, you're fighting the climate change with zero greenhouse gases from the equipment. A lot of different parts to a project today that just weren't available to us then. And so the company's committed that, look, this is all about fighting the environment, making sure it's a minimal impact project, working with the community. The other thing too that Kim is quite passionate about is leaving a positive legacy. The mine, yes, there will be fabulous jobs here while the mine is operating, but what's always worked out best and what we've seen in the past is that when we work with the community, keeping the end in mind, it's always leaving something that's better than what you've got today. And so, what is it that works with them? We've got to get them involved in that conversation right at the very start. And so that's what we're all about.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay.